Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and in this video today, I am joined by Rhett Matthew, host of the Cannon Fire podcast, because Dee Delaney, former Tampa Bay Buccaneers nickel cornerback and safety, has joined the Buffalo Bills. He is no longer a Tampa Bay Buccaneer, and Rhett, we had just recorded a quick little version of this before this version, but Dee Delaney, a guy who was with the Buccaneers from 2021 to 2023, you mentioned it, just kind of a solid veteran guy who was mentioned pretty much every year, right?
Yeah, a guy that you would always be surprised was still on the roster, but someone that you were grateful to have on the roster when his name was ultimately called. You had mentioned that 2021 season, and you remember just the constant carousel of starters in that secondary from week to week to week. They even tried signing Richard Sherman to put a Band-Aid on it, and it ultimately did not work. But, Dee Delaney is a guy that not only brings depth to this Buccaneers football team, but he brings experience. He is a guy that the Buccaneers coaching staff can feel comfortable leaning on when he does have to step up into games, whether it's at the safety spot or that nickel corner spot. And I know that he isn't a superstar by any means to a lot of people, but he is a valuable piece of depth. Just like Aaron Stinney, I think that the Bucs are going to be missing here if they have to test the depth later in the season.
Yeah, I mean, he played in 52 games for the Bucs over 3 years. 49 games for the Bucs over 3 years. Started 5. People may forget this, Rhett. 2 interceptions last year. Not too shabby. He also finishes his career with 71 total tackles with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and it was his longest tenure with an NFL team. He played 1 year for Jacksonville, 1 year for Washington before he came to the Bucs. He actually took a year off in 2020, but then made his way to the Bucs for the previous 3 seasons. So, again, this is a guy who I thought was good, just a serviceable guy, right? Was able to have good ability playing both cornerback and safety, was just really just a good, versatile defensive back, but also offered you some special teams ability as well. I want to see if I can pull up his snap counts. Yeah, take a look here. In 2021, 65% of special team snap counts, or special team snaps for the Bucs, 21% of defensive snaps. 2022, 19% of defensive snaps, 66% of special team snaps. 2023, 40% of defensive snaps, 27% of special team snaps. So, this dude was versatile, and he was actually playing some games for the Bucs here, Rhett.
Yeah, absolutely he was. You talked about the importance on special team, too, and that's a dynamic of, a player not exactly getting all the credit that he would get on defense. You see how much of a role player he was on special teams. So, in the seasons where he's not playing on the defense all year long, he is finding ways to be valuable in the special teams unit. And I know that the special teams unit 2021, 22, even parts of 23 was not the best. So I don't know if the Bucs are losing very much in that regard. But, kind of similar to a cornerback here a couple of years ago in Ryan Smith. You remember his versatility, but you remember him making plays on special teams for Tampa Bay. So that was a bigger loss than I think this will be as far as the effect he has on special teams. But again, just that versatility and the fact that he was always able to find playing time, which in the NFL is never a bad thing.
Yeah, so this one, honestly, I liked Dee Delaney. This one kind of hurts. Wish him nothing but the best here. Going to the Buffalo Bills, going to another playoff contending team as well. And Red also, the Bucs added Tavier Thomas. They added, Bryce Hall to their secondary. You have Zion McCollum still there as well. You have Josh Hayes in that mix also. So do you think that would kind of led to the Bucs just not bringing him back?
Yeah, I think the Bucs feel really good about their depth at, I guess we could just say the nickel corner spot, because it's kind of weird when you talk about some of these players in the secondary. Third round pick Tyke Smith out of Georgia could kind of fall into this category. But, last year you had Zion McCollum pitching in at safety, even though he's listed as a cornerback. You had Christian Izien listed as a safety, taking spots at the nickel corner spot. You just mentioned Bryce Hall being an addition to the team. You mentioned Tavier Thomas being an addition to the team. I think the expectations the Bucs have for Zion McCollum is for him to not be in that nickel corner spot. So I think that's where most of the attention is going to shift to, because Dee Delaney was a guy that you could fit in there. And like I said, just good depth. You know what I mean? He wasn't a superstar. He wasn't a game changer, and he wasn't anybody that was going to win you the game. But he was someone that you could rely on just enough to feel comfortable about his skill level. So I think really the position battle, the rep battle, if you will, for that nickel corner spot is going to be interesting to watch throughout the season, because Again, I don't think Zion McCollum is expected to be in that spot as much this season. So I think it's going to be a carousel of guys throughout the first several weeks of the season until the Bucs can ultimately find who they like best for what situation in that spot on the defense. They've got a really good crop of talent. I think Todd Bowles is just excited to see who he can use in what situation he can use them. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. So, it does make sense, but we'll see what happens ultimately with Dee Delaney. He will be 29 years old by this upcoming season. If he doesn't make it through the Bills' final roster, maybe he's a candidate to be brought back on the practice squad. That wouldn't be too surprising. He had 3 career interceptions with Tampa Bay, like we just discussed. A lot of playing time and would be a very solid guy to bring on a practice squad if he can. So we'll see. But guys, let us know your thoughts and opinions about Dee Delaney going to the Bills down in the comments section below. You guys have any fond memories of Dee Delaney? I mean, I thought he was always kind of like one of them preseason warriors, right? Who would always go out there and make a couple of plays and transitioned into making some plays in the regular season as well. So wish him nothing but the best. And would love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Go subscribe to the Cannon Fire podcast as well here on YouTube. Would be greatly appreciated also. And as always, guys, we will see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.